Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is just, oh, we have someone else coming in. We are just going to start with a little icebreaker. Just if we can just say your name, what's your business name, and instead of I want to give we wanted to give a little switch around. Instead of us thinking of what is this that we want to achieve this new year, I thought it would be a good idea if we think about something that we achieved last year, just as a reminder of the things that we are capable of, and use that as a mindset to get us ready for the next year. So I'm going to start and then I'll pass it on to Valeria, and from there we're just popcorn style. So as you know, as you can see my name on the screen, I'm Maybelline Jerez. I'm the program manager of the Season Accelerator program with CLA. And something that I achieved last year, I did the question and didn't think about it myself. I wanted something professional. I switched fields to something that bring me not only more satisfaction personally, but also professionally. And I think that was a goal that I set up for myself at the beginning of last year, something that came up during the pandemic, and I was able to do so. And here I am, and I'll pass it to you, Valeria.
Hi, yeah, that's a good share. My name is Valeria Velasquez Dueñas, Senior Manager of Programs for CLA. So I not only help lead the Accelerator, but our benefits and incentives and market match programs at the markets. And I think a big accomplishment or good feeling from last year was the beginnings of rolling out the expansion of Market Match. So some of you may know that's a program that provides CalFresh EBT users extra money to buy produce at our market. So it's a real lifeline and vital source of extra money for healthy food. And I think since starting with CLA a few years ago, I, met different organizations that for one reason or other didn't have the funding to do Market Match or weren't eligible due to the program's current guidelines. So in 2021, I worked with some organizations to help shift that and expand the program in the county. And it's exciting to see that it's going to roll out, that a little seed of an idea that was germinating kind of almost without even just naturally, organically kind of sprouted into that. So we're going to be seeing Market Match programs at some new retail sites, not only farmers markets. I'll popcorn over to Daniel.
Unmute myself. I'm Dan Weiser. My family actually is a farmers market farmer that we in your market. You probably
I was wondering. I've had the purple potatoes many times.
Yeah. So we've been there for quite a while, and I'd been talking to my brother and my daughter, who's at least on my computer screen is right below me. I talked to him for a while about working on medicinal teas, and so last year, I don't know if it's a professional achievement, but I think it is an achievement of what I've learned about medicinal teas, in particular holy basil tea. So I got a chance to work on that, successfully propagated it, worked on some small production for myself and for friends and family, and it got really great reviews, very, very encouraged by it. So I talked to Alex about possibly doing that as kind of a flanker product for Weiser Family Farms or for my family. So really excited about the possibility of making this something. So it's kind of my story.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Sure. Any achievement, professional or personal, is still an achievement.
Right.
You want a popcorner to somebody else, or should I choose?
You can go ahead and choose. I don't want to.
Okay, I'll pass it to Edgar.
Hi, my name is Edgar Ortuño. I alongside with my mom, we're opening up, or she's already opened up a business, and I'm just helping her expand it. So I'm here on her behalf. It's Buena Vista Desserts. Right now, we're trying to focus on healthy Mexican desserts and pastries. And so we're starting to transition to a more, I think that's one of our goals that we started last year was transitioning our baked goods from just like a regular, everyday use of flour to more alternatives of like almond flour, and just exploring options and seeing, like, experimenting. So we've always wanted to do that, and I think that's something that we started, and I've been telling her, like, well, we should start exploring like almond milk, or just like, different alternatives, oat milk. And so yeah, I think that's one of our accomplishments that we're hopefully going to start selling those types of desserts after this whole research phase is done. But yeah, I'm excited to learn more about the program, to see if my mom would be interested. So I'm like gonna pitch this to her. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being our advocate. I guess I'll pass it to Kitty.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry for joining a bit late. I forgot the time. I actually already applied for the Accelerator, but I missed the initial Zoom call for information. So I'm doing this a bit backwards, actually. I am a pop-up in Los Angeles called Dai Pai Dong. It's a pun on the traditional Cantonese street stalls, which are called Dai Pai Dong as well. But the middle pai is pie, as in the English word. So I basically do British Cantonese savory pies. I've been running for about a year with small pop-ups, and I'm at that point where I want to, scale up and expand and just be more of a real actual company. And I'm kind of interested on basically getting a bit more professional help to learn to do that. And I think your Accelerator might be quite apt. So that's why I already applied for it, but I didn't have all the information. So it's nice to speak to someone to see if it actually is the right thing for me now.
Yeah, when I was reading your name, I was just like, I've seen this name before, but let me clarify something for you. There are two different programs.
Right.
Yeah, so this is the Season Accelerator, and the one you apply for is the Season Accelerator Bootcamp, which is just a shorter program, and it's
right.
Yeah, so there are different parameters. So while we go through the presentation, you'll see like this is more like an intense kind of like program than the other one that you apply for. So you'll see, and then we can chat about it later.
Okay, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And then I'll pass it on to Eliza.
And the prompt is to just share something that you accomplished last year.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I was finding my unmute button. Hi, I'm Alyssa Weiser. I'm actually with my dad here on this call. We're looking forward to introducing this activity. I'm kind of helping with the marketing aspect of it. I have not accomplished anything in this business last year, but I'm hoping that this year we can kind of move forward.
So you're having a hard time hearing you, but feel free to put your answer in the chat if you'd like. That's easier.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Sorry.
Okay, I'll pass it to, in the meantime, to McKinney.
Hi, good morning. So my name is Belinda, and I was shared this information by a couple of colleagues that's gone through your program. The name of my business is Heaven and Earth Purpose Kitchen, where we cook, eat, we cook, eat, and thrive with purpose. So what I come from a corporate chef background. So all things foods. I'm very familiar with the Wiser Farm company because my company purchased their products through a gosh, I can't even think of the name right now, but a vendor. So I'm very familiar with the fingerlings and Russian and banana potatoes and all those great potatoes. So what I've done is I'm no longer with that corporate setting, and I've always wanted to start my own business. So that's what I finally did last year. So trying to find a kitchen to work from was tasking, to find something that I can afford. So I was able to land a kitchen to share some space. And then one of the major things is being a chef coming from, food background, my business focus is whole plant meals. So although I'm not a vegan, I'm not a true vegan, but I do enjoy cooking vegan food and intentional, purposeful food. So my food is more alkaline based. So just to distinguish between, what type of food do I prepare is more alkaline based. So I love to hear Mr. Weiser talk about the holy basil and the holistic teas, because the foods that I prepare are, infusing those properties, those type of herbs in my foods for healing and reversing diseases in our community. So I'm excited about the program. And thank you for the clarification, because I too did not realize that there was 2 different types of programs, a boot camp and then an extensive one, but nevertheless, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for attending nonetheless. Yeah, and the boot camp, like Maybelline had stated, it's really designed for brand new businesses or those who have been around for 6 months or less. So very, very early stage. And as we'll get into, our regular annual cohort in Accelerator is focused on businesses that have been around for a year or more. I think that just leaves Javon.
Yes, it's me.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. My name is Javon Sanders. I'm the owner and founder of Toss It Up. And Toss It Up is the first Black-owned salad company in LA. We were one of the vendors at the MLK years ago when it first started. So I've been following you guys. We've been trying to get back into the Crenshaw area. But currently our goal that we accomplished last year was getting into our brick and mortar. So we're sharing a cafe inside of a store and working on getting our health permit so we could open up to the public. So I've been in business since 2016 and been going strong since.
Well, congratulations on your brick and mortar. That's a big step. And if everyone is ready, we're just gonna jump in. Let me just share my screen really quick. Okay. Okay, welcome once again, everyone. So a little bit of background about the System Accelerator program. So the program was established in 2020, kind of like at the beginning of the pandemic, just to support small food businesses. And it is unique among all the local accelerators just because it focuses on food vendors, particularly those that are interested to sell in a farmer's market or that are currently selling a farmer's market, So far, we have served 34 entrepreneurs since the program was established. And our kind of goal is to support a diverse group of entrepreneurs to create a healthy local food economy and help small businesses to grow. I'll give it to you, Valeria. Sorry.
Yeah, so as Maybelline mentioned, so our main purpose and reason for being is to help create a healthy local food economy. We recognize Prior to 2020, through the encouragement of vendors that had sold at our markets before, to really look at the marketplace as a entry point into the economy for small and mid-sized food businesses. There's a low barrier to entry, meaning it's relatively easy to get into farmers markets once you get past a wait list. The costs are not that high, but it's a really great platform to meet the larger marketplace, get a reputation, and grow in, further grow a business. So we've seen some of our farmer market vendors grow into brick and mortars or multiply brick and mortars if they had one in a few markets. Part of the driving force of the program was to really formalize what we do to support small food businesses. We serve our community consists of a lot of first generation immigrant entrepreneurs of color, and a lot of female entrepreneurs. And so diversity is just naturally, sort of organically, part of what we do within the program.
I think you already kind of like spoke a little bit about this.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just kind of a breakdown generally of like the percentages of BIPOC owned businesses, how many had women founders or co-owners, and Black owned businesses. Again, we pride ourselves in that. And that's really just kind of organically a reflection of the types of vendors that work at our markets and the business community that we're plugged into, because we also are here for small businesses that are not currently in farmers markets.
Okay, so our strategy to achieve this is like each year a group of 10 entrepreneurs receive like one-on-one business advising and mentorship, linkage to resources. That being said, it could be linkage to available grants that are offered by other organizations or private entities. We can also provide linkage, for example, if you're looking to develop CPG products or are in the midst of developing a CPG product and perhaps you need a little bit more guidance on how to do so, we can connect you with an advisor. It all depends. It's like a one-on-one case by case situation. And aside of that, there is a program that contains like webinars on business development and issues specifically related to the food and beverage industry.
Yeah, we definitely didn't want to take sort of a one-size-fits-all kind of templated general business education approach. There's lots of that, and that's useful and that's helpful. Everyone benefits from a business plan and profit and loss statements and all of those things. But food and beverage industry is very stressful, is very particular. The questions that come up are very specific. So we wanted to really build out a team of instructors and folks we work with that are food and beverage experts. And I think the next slide will go into that a little bit.
Yes, this is like some of the topics that will be covered during the program. Is like growth strategy, business planning, as Valeria was mentioned, financials, which is a really important part of any business, branding and marketing, leadership, and much more. Just like self-care, because that's also important. How to what is the difference cost between having a CPG product, as I mentioned before, and about selling just the product directly to your customer, how to bring your employees, if you're paying in cash, how to bring in more formally on a W-2, if that's what your goals are, and what are the benefits of having your employee on a W-2. And there's like a lot of information that I covered during the program. So the tools that we use for to achieve this are Google Classroom, which we find that is a really user-friendly platform. Through there, you will receive updates of all of the presentations I make available, the resources of any grants or anything can be found over there, assignments, and so forth. And also Zoom, as we are using right now, where all of the webinars are hosted. Valeria, you want to take this one on?
Yeah,
is-
so as you can see, there's some good feedback from our program alumni. I think at least one of you was referred by a business owner who's been in our program before. And as you can see, they each were in these two businesses here, Masaya and Snow con Amor. They were in similar overlapping places. They had been operating for a little while, but like many food businesses, again, and I had a food business at one point as well, you kind of get into it because you have a passion and a talent for it. Your family and friends maybe encourage you. It's not as common maybe for someone to have like to go through an MBA program and have that perfect food concept out of the gate, graduating from school with seed funding lined up and angel investors and all of that, although that does happen. Folks like Joaquin and like Laura started as a passion project. And so they had a great product, they had a vision for what they wanted to do, but not quite sure how to get there because there was still a little bit of informality. There hadn't been anything committed to paper, like on a business plan or a strategy sort of mapped out. And they each got individual support that was tailored to them. So Joaquin was a little bit earlier in his journey. So we paired him with an really great advisor, Jocelyn Ramirez, who founded Todo Verde. She came up through our farmers markets, has established her own like thriving presence and brand and all of that. And her problems were directly related, that she had experienced in the past were related to Joaquin's journey. Like I'm, at pop-ups, I'm on the street, I'm at farmers markets, but I'm not quite sure the next step. He really needed to look and see how to refine his operations first and foremost. Lauda, on the other hand, had her system down and just needed a little bit more support and like, well, what's next? She had an audience at the Hollywood farmers markets, but really needed to see how to branch out with her product. And she had a lot of success getting her product into different boutique hotels. She's had a really great niche there and media coverage over the last couple of years. So we're really proud of what they've both done in the program.
And I want to add that Laura was selected to be the, it went out of my mind, the football game. Okay, never mind.
The Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl, yeah. One of the Super Bowl.
I'm not a football fan either. It's like every year at the end of January, I'm like, what happened? Nobody's out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's just an example of sort of some of the ways in which we link folks to opportunities. So we'll kind of mention throughout like grant opportunities, small business loans, things like that. We have a good network and we get emails and newsletters and opportunities come to our inbox all the time that Maybelline curates and sends out to the business owners. So Lau that had the opportunity to go through the bidding process and be a featured Super Bowl VIP vendor, which gave her a lot of good visibility.
Thank you for expanding on that. My it was like, what was it? Okay, so eligibility and application requirements. First one was live or do business in the city of LA, been in business for at least 1 year, have a business plan or an articulate idea of what your business goals are, business tax registration, participation in all of the program services in curriculum for a period of 7 months, meet the low to moderate income guidelines as set by the city of LA, regular meetings with our food business consultants and marketing advisors. These are approximately 2 to 3 meetings a month, not including, this is like kind of like the time commitment, but not including the time spending working independently on assignment and task, because we like to say you get out of the program where you put in. Advisors, we can only guide you to a certain point, but after that kind of like is your homework to do, as well as showing up in the webinars and Zoom meetings that happen. There are about 1 or 2 hours approximately. There, I want to say an average 1 hour and 30 minutes, depending on the topic and the questions that it might have. 3 to 4 times a month. And for this, we will require like a computer or a smartphone. Also, the recordings are available if you cannot make it. They will be available on our YouTube channel. And then there is also a requirement to show up to our monthly progress check-in that happen with Valeria and myself, mostly myself, via email. I'm part of maybe a phone, and then sharing information about your demographics, sales figures for the program grant requirement reporting. All the information that you shared with us is confidential. We only kind of like share with the EWDD, that is the one that found the founder of the program, and it's just because it is a requirement for them also to provide us with the funds. A little bit of the CLA staff is Valeria Velasquez, as you know her already. She's the Senior Program Manager, Farmers Market Program. Myself, the Season Accelerator Program Manager, and Maria Rivera, who is not with us, but she is our Program Associate. You will be getting emails from her if you are accepted into the program regarding all the logistics that are involved, all the behind the scenes kind of.
It might be helpful for you to share a little bit on your bio, Maybelline, because you did have an extensive hospitality background. That might be helpful for people to know. We all have sort of a reason for being here, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'll share a little bit. Well, as Leah said, my background is in hospitality. I have a degree, a bachelor degree that I obtained in Dominican Republic, where I worked in hotels for approximately 2 years till I moved to the States, and I work in restaurants. And I started from the ground up, being a server, a host, became a manager. And parallel to that, I was also working my way up into doing events, kind of like the same thematic, being started as a server, became a captain until I became a manager. I have produced events in Times Square for New Year's Eve with a production company, have done weddings, birthday parties, events for Google, Spotify. During the pandemic, also kind of like started my own venture of having an online wine shop, which didn't get me too far because I also was facing all of these issues that you might have faced, trying to start a business, and also because there are so many regulations when it comes to wine alcohol delivery, especially in California. So that brought me to and that led me here to CLA. And I was just like, really, when I saw the post, I was just like, wow, these are all the things that I wish I knew when I was doing my venture. And that's kind of like a little bit of myself. And yeah.
Thanks for that. And my background also overlaps with food and beverage, although I've been in the programmatic side and community organizations for many years. I think the theme is I want to make sure that everyone has access to their basic needs, because I worked in low income and affordable housing at one point and always had an interest in food, and eventually had my own food business for 4 years. I was doing private chefing, catering. So I know the struggle of carrying things around all over town, and then doing the numbers at the end of the day and wondering what happened. And I made a really great network through that work, established organization event series with other women colleagues in the food space. We're still active. We had an event last December with LAist and KPCC. And then it also brought me to CLA. And so I think that our work here combines all of the best of those worlds, making sure people have access to the resources and support that they need and want. And it has everything to do with delicious food. I get to visit the market sites and get purple potatoes at Wiser Farms and get exciting food from our Accelerator vendors. So,
yep, thank you. And I guess we're just going to open the floor for questions. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now so we can see our faces. Okay. Any questions?
Is anyone curious about the time commitment? Or want more detail about that, like what it really looks like? It is intensive, 7 months. So that's something that we do want to tell applicants from the get-go. Be prepared to get what you put into it. I would compare it to, you're focusing on your business, but also taking a class, at a college, for example, that same level of time commitment. We do want to emphasize that we do, pay attention to whether businesses are regularly meeting with their advisors, because again, they get out what they put in. The advisors are there, spending their time to provide specialized and tailored support. So we want the businesses to kind of have a clear vision of what they want to ask, what they need help with, and they'll get that advice and then tenfold, because our advisors are really great at introducing business owners to their own networks, to contacts. Like Maybelline was telling me last year, one of the businesses got referred to a food scientist who was able to help them look at formulating a shelf-stable product that they were developing. And that was an example of someone who showed up to every webinar, showed up to every meeting with their advisor, and got a lot out of it. And then we've had a few here and there over the last 3 years that it was a lot for them to commit that time. They didn't have maybe the support structure. Like, it's really good to have like maybe at least one other person to lean on in your operations, whether it's we've had books that have like a family member that's working part-time for them, who does a little bit of the vending work so that they can attend webinars. That's important to consider. Like, do I have a support system, even if it's small, within my business to help keep things operating so that I can think about the big picture for my business? That's important. Again, we're not looking for people who have the most expansive teams, because otherwise they wouldn't be here needing the support necessarily. But like having at least a part-time person to lean on, even if it's a family member, helps make your participation a little bit easier. And we do try to schedule everything at times that make sense. So usually early in the week, mid-morning for webinars tends to work for entrepreneurs. Later in the week, it gets busier. Farmers market happens, dinners happen, things like that. And the advisors also sort of work with your schedules. And I think someone has a question.
Yes, Belinda.
Hi, yes. So now that I have a little bit more clarity about the different programs, because I may not apparently fit into this program because I'm very new. There's the boot camp that I was interested in, but I guess it is closed now. I guess one of my question is it still open to apply that particular one, to apply the boot camp, or is that completely full?
Let's get in touch after this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still love hearing what I'm hearing, because the previous, I see Synovia Jones is one that referred me, and then also Kathy Austin is with Kathy's Kitchen from your previous programs. But thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll sidebar about that. And the boot camp is going to be like a 12-week kind of crash course, so you might find that helpful.
Well, I don't know how to raise my hand, but I have a question. Weiser Family Farms is long established farmers market farmer, but we do production of the raw materials that we would use for this business that we're contemplating. In terms of the qualifications, it's not an existing business, but I was envisioning a separate but related business, like for example with my daughter or somebody as a head. Does that work within the guidelines of your program, or?
Yeah, you'd really have to be established for a year, but I feel like it's good you attended so you can start information gathering and laying the groundwork. Get your concept down, maybe start looking at getting your business license and start piloting it out at the markets like you were thinking about. And then this time next year, you'll be like right there, sort of an ideal candidate.
So being that the farm Weiser Family Farms is probably outside the
Yeah. Actually, we're contemplating a farmers accelerator program in the next few years. So we do want to branch out the services to farmers. But yeah, you'd have to be existing as this like separate entity.
Who's texting me? Gotcha. Thank you.
And I would add to that all the material for the bootcamp that will cover the basis of how to get your license and how to like start your business from the ground up will be available in our YouTube channel once the program starts. So that could be a good source of information.
Okay, yeah, because there's a lot, as I've contemplated starting this business, it's a whole different ballgame from just, I mean, I know how to plan for farmers market production, but in terms of, okay, how do you actually take the raw materials and produce, the items for sale? It's a little bit out of my experience, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you.
Does anybody else has any other question?
Daniel, I'm gonna drop a name of a firm that does advising on packaged products as you're looking at teas, right? You might want to look into Sherpa CPG and see if like some of their advising like for launch support and help could be useful for you. They do like product formulation and everything.
Thank you very much for that. I'll take a look.
I want to see the product. Any other questions? Cool. Seems like the slides did their job.
It seems like. Okay.
I do have one question. So if, for instance, my mom and myself want to be part of the program together, can we do that? Or does she have to be, since she's the owner, and it's because she only speaks Spanish, so
Right.
yeah.
So she would be the main applicant, of course, could certainly help her with the application. And we like consider it like per business. So this doesn't happen a lot. Actually, Maybelline, hasn't happened where anyone send like a rep or a partner to webinars, but they can do that. They could definitely send like a rep or a point person to webinars that they can attend and things like that. So I don't think that would be a problem if like you were the main point of contact.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think it had happened before, but I don't see like an issue with it.
Yeah, I've encouraged people, like if you have a social media person that's like the best person to attend like our marketing series, like have them do that. But yeah, usually it's always been the founder winds up attending, but we could do that. There's that flexibility.
I have one question. When you go through this accelerator program, you mentioned that you link the entrepreneurs up with other companies such as co-packagers and scientists. Was that stated or?
Yeah, generally we do that in two ways. So like we mentioned, like food is so specific and challenging that we don't have all the answers like at any given time for everything. You'll be surprised, like every year there's like a new question and then a new resource that we put into like our list. So we use the advisor support on that. So the advisors will know somebody who knows somebody. And then we have our own resource list. So either way, like we try to get the answer. And Maybelline's really good at doing that with all her hospitality experience, like nothing stresses her out, so.
Okay, thank you. Because we were considering branding our own salad dressing and go that route as well. So, we would love to be introduced to someone that could help us with that process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just dropping in the chat the link to the application in case somebody wants to go ahead and start applying. Any other questions? Any other questions, someone? Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add, Valeria?
No, just the deadline, right, is the 31st?
Yes, January 31st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. And after you apply, you will be hearing from us no later than February 16. The program starts in April. It's gonna end up in October approximately. We try to keep the schedule as is announced at the beginning of the program, but know that things happen and sometimes things get switched around, but we try our best just to keep it on schedule. We take all of the, how can I say? All of the things that could happen into consideration when we build up the program. Okay. So if there are no more questions, we're just gonna close it. Thank you for being here, for taking the time. If you have any other questions, I'm just gonna drop my email in the chat. Feel free to email me. I'll do my best to get to you as soon as possible. And have a great day.
Yeah, everybody, thanks for attending.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.
Go ahead.
Bye.